And welcome to FusionPit Presents. I'm Alec.
I'm Jordan.
I'm Joseph.
And Jordan is filling in for Charlie again, as Charlie is out. And today we are interviewing a country artist.
My name's Adrian Taylor, and I'm from Anderson, California.
All right. Well, I'm going to actually, what you just said, I'm going to open up with the first question is, a lot of your lyrics in both your demo and your full length have a lot of southern roots in them. So are you actually born and raised in Anderson, California, or?
Well, I was born in Sacramento. I had a lot of family in Georgia. We used to spend summers over there. And my whole family, my grandpa's from Amarillo, Texas. My grandma's from some bayou little city in not even a city, there's a population like 200 in Mississippi. Like, they ate roadkill and shit like that. So, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That is beautiful. I didn't even know that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, dear Lord. So, we're going to actually, for a little bit, we're just going to talk about your first demo that you put out. Now, I want to know what was up with the one original and then the 5 covers.
Well, when that demo came out, there was a couple songs that I'd written here and there, but they weren't, they weren't quite ready to be put on a demo or even an album, and still the one that was on there is not ready for that. The covers, they're kind of scattered, but in a way they all kind of represent my life, except for Hell on Wheels, because obviously I'm not out running moonshine. Like Dirt Road Diary, everywhere that, in Georgia we were always out some dirt road, and back here all we listened to was country. And growing up without a dad, kind of my grandpa and my uncle were my big influences for the teaching me how to be a man thing. So I did the Dirt Road Anthem cover, and Grandpa's too long of a word for that song, so I had to say Dad because it fit. But it's grew up in a small town in North Georgia, raised on sort of Baptist morals, and I kind of was raised on Baptist morals. Learned how to treat a woman, and learned that life without work is just a myth. You can't live your life without work in some way or another. Nothing can be handed to you, and if it is, it's not worth it. So.
Joe, you had a question?
Well, I had two off the bat. Was one of which one on the demo was not a cover? I actually was unaware that was 4 covers and 1 original when I listened to that earlier today.
The one that was not a cover is Ignorant. And Ignorant, like I said, they were all, and that was 3 years ago. So, musically.
How old were you, by the way?
Like 16, 15, somewhere in there.
Alright.
Didn't have my driver's license yet, so about 15. And my voice has come a long way since then. I went from, like, I was kind of getting this southern rasp thing going in, and then picked up smoking, and now I've got this extra rasp that kind of actually helps me along the way. So now I've got this real gritty sound to it, and it sounds good to me. And yeah.
But can you tell us a little bit about that song, though, the originals on that?
Ignorant. The lyrics were actually written by Alec right here. And one day we were all sitting in choir, and we had a band room in choir, like this little section that had a bass guitar, a drum set, and I brought my guitar to school. So I just started playing this thing, and Jordan started doing rim shots and a kick, and then Alec picked up the bass and just kind of screwed around with that a little bit, and we came up with music. And then we had a little writing session at Alec's house, and probably a couple days later, and I worked on that song, and we called it, my first original that was good enough to play for people.
But my other question I had right off the bat was, what made you decide, or at least I'm pretty sure from what I can tell, that most of these on both was just you, right? Yeah. Well, other than the metronome that we could all hear in the background, which, by the way, what's up with that?
Okay, what happened is on my Mac, I was using GarageBand.
All right.
and I did not have a compressor.
Alright.
And so when I was recording, I had my headphones plugged in, but they didn't fill out the full auxiliary the way they should have. So I was getting half the sound in my headphones, but I didn't realize the metronome was still going.
Alright.
And when I went to go fix it, it was already too late because it was recorded on the songs. And I figured there was no way to fix that without a compressor.
Or you could have either just done a different take, but...
Well, I mean, at the time I was kind of in a rush.
Alright.
Like,
I can forgive that, I understand that.
I was kind of on a deadline. The guy that I'm working with right now, he needed about 12 songs to work with, and so...
Alright, but back to what I was originally saying was, I noticed it was, other than that, it was just you, right?
Yeah.
And your voice and a guitar. What made you decide that you wanted to be a solo artist? I mean, I'm doing that myself at the moment, but what made you decide, you know, I'm just gonna do this on my own?
It's not actually a decision. It's kind of, it's just the way that it turned out. I mean, I put up an ad on Craigslist for a country band, and the only thing I got was 80-year-old men.
Oh God,
who
I think I
played-
saw one of your ads. I think we responded to one at one point.
Well, I mean, they were just all a bunch of old classic country, and
Yeah.
that's not the sound I'm going for. So if I've got all these old guys in my band, and the type of music I'm playing, and the type of energy that I'm going to need on stage, I
Yeah.
can't get that from someone who's going to break a hip. So...
Well, the only reason I really asked is I noticed there's a lot of great artists out there from all the genres who've done solo. I mean, you can look at country, there's a few names, but even if you look into other things, with progressive rock, you've got Steven Wilson. With black metal, you've got Baruzum. I mean, there's a wide variety. So I was curious what drove you to do it. So
I just can't find a band.
So, out of country music, who's your current favorite artist, and who you kind of look forward to hopefully meeting if you make it big, or when you make it big, and who was your inspiration growing up in country?
Growing up in country was definitely the classics, Cash, Hank, Willie, and Waylon. Those will always be, you know, they're the original country outlaws and the country rock, and since that's the whole, I mean, it's not even what I'm going for, it's just to kind of, it's the way I grew up and the way my lyrics are coming out. And so, right now I've got two favorites. The first all-time favorite is Brentley Gilbert, and I like his music so much because when he came out of the gate, he was this kind of more southern rock sound, but he was making it on country radio, and it was different. And now the other guys that I'm really enjoying right now are the Cadillac 3. All of their lyrics are, I mean, they're true, and I was listening to an interview about them today, actually, and they've been together for like 15 years, and they're finally touring, and right now they're on tour with Leonard Skinner and ZZ Top, and like they are, for three guys, I mean, they kill it, and their energy and everything, I mean, I've been really watching how they are on stage, because right now I just stand there with a guitar, and I know for a fact that I need to be able to do stuff on stage to catch people's attention.
So I'm gonna bring us back a little bit, because you said two things that I wanted to ask you about. At least Joe brought up one of them anyway.
Okay.
Now, you said you were working with someone.
Yes.
So who are you working with? What are some people you've collaborated with or have been working with?
other than him, of course.
Well, I mean, yeah, writing has been with Alec and Jordan right here. But about 4 months ago, maybe 5, 6, I don't know, somewhere around there, I got hooked up with a guy named Mike Mathis, who was the lead singer of Mad Side. And, you know, I called him, and he had a class going, and I couldn't afford it at the time. I still can't. I'm broke as hell. But, you know, I called him, and I was like, well, when I get the money, maybe we can, you know, work this out and work it a little bit. He said, okay. And I said, you know, if you want to hear what I sound like, go to my YouTube. And he went there, and as soon as he heard like the first line of a song, he called me back and he's like, dude, I'll work out a deal with you and we'll work. And we've been writing, we've been talking about getting in Merle Haggard's studio and all these ideas. And right now the only thing that's a problem is funding, because I mean, to make a full-blown album, you need a little dough.
Yeah.
And I got nothing. So.
Well, the other thing I wanted to ask was, as Joe pointed out, you are a solo entity. You do everything by yourself. Do you have any plans to maybe further on bring in a band, or are you going to keep it this way? Maybe do an electric full band version of some of your songs?
I definitely want a full band, especially if I start touring. Like, obviously, I could sit down and do a acoustic session, you know, for an hour or whatever in front of some people. But with the type of music that I'm doing, you need a full band to actually bring out the sound that I need.
Do you have any plans to go into a studio and remaster it because I know it's raw. Do you have any plans to go into a studio, remaster and mix it?
Not every song that's on that 12 full length. I wanted to change it up because since I put that out, I mean, I've written songs that I think would make a better cut and they would hit harder. And, you know, being a musician, you kind of have to be cocky to know what songs you want, you know, you think will actually hit with people. And, I mean, because if you're a country musician, especially, because you're telling stories the whole time. And I'm not part of that bro country shit. So, I mean, if my song doesn't hit you the way that I wanted it to hit you, then I feel like I did something wrong. And so I'm going to add in a couple different songs. I'm going to definitely get a full band going for that. If I can't find one in the time being, my buddy's going to hook me up with one. And we'll take it from there. But in the meantime, I got to start up a savings account and, you know, get in the Merle studio.
So since you brought it up, about stories and how all country music, well, not all country music, but all music in general kind of tells a story. What's the story behind your whole album? It's kind of like a love story mixed with some partying. What was that based off of?
Well, the original idea that I had, because I wrote a lot more, I mean, down in the dumps type songs. And yeah, people make the joke, you know, it's country music, so that's kind of expected. But I mean, what I had for an idea of that, the long road back, was, you know, this guy lost what he thought was a girl of his dreams, and it really took him down to rock bottom, and then all of a sudden his life took a turn for the worse. I mean, he became an alcoholic and was fighting all the time. And then there was a song, I don't remember if I put it on there or not. I really wanted to. It's called Devil. I don't think it's on there.
No, it's not.
Well, that was kind of the redemption song that should have been on there.
Yeah.
It was kind of the redemption song where his life started to turn around, and then he meets this new girl and life starts to get a little bit better, and that's where all the party songs start coming in. And I try to stay as far away from recycling my lyrics because it's a lazy writing. And I mean, but definitely there's two songs that are my favorites, and one of them was going to be a bonus track on there. The first song is called Underage. For me, it's kind of just it's high school life. I mean, a bunch of kids want to go out and have a good time, and then when they grow up and they look back, it's like, sometimes they're like, wow, holy shit, I can't believe I made it through that. And then there's the other side that's like, you know, I will never do that again. My kids will never live that life. But, you know, in the time being, they were underage. They were drinking, they were smoking and all that. And the second song that is my absolute favorite was going to be a bonus track. It's called Modern Day Bonnie and Clyde. And that song took me about 3.5 years to write. Started off freshman year. I always had an idea for this song, and I was like, okay, maybe I'll try it out this way. And I liked it, and then I wrote some lyrics out, and I was like, no, that don't work. I scrapped it, and then there was one time you and me started working on it, and I got all excited, and then
It sounds like a Brentley Gilbert song.
Brentley Gilbert came out with a song called Bottoms Up, and it so happened to sound damn near identical. I was like, well, shit, can't do that one. So I scrapped that one, and then this year, I was sitting at school, and I had my guitar, and I just started playing some chords, and I was like, okay, I like the way this feels, and then all of a sudden the lyrics just clicked for me, and because it's kind of it's a badass love story is the way I like to look at it, because I mean, modern day Bonnie and Clyde back in the day they were badass, and they were the epitome of, not epiphany, that's the wrong word, they were
Epitome?
Epitome, yeah. That sounds about right. They were
Southerners.
Hey. No, they were. I mean, they were just stone cold killers, but at the same time, they were lovers, and that's the way that I kind of. I mean, obviously, I don't want to be a killer or nothing, but going out in a blaze of glory sounds like a good time to me.
So, actually, I want to talk to you about some specific songs.
Okay.
Actually,
Oh,
do you want to go in on that?
Oh, no, go ahead.
I said, do you want to? I mean, that was, me and you had the same thought here.
Then yeah. I'll just go off a few songs while you rattle off a few songs.
Okay, go ahead.
So, actually, I'm going to talk about songs that didn't make the cut since I was there for those.
Okay, cool.
Songs like 150 Proof, Devil, things like that. What happened with those? Those were some raw songs. I've noticed that you tend to lean toward more the lovey-dovey songs, and I also want to know who those songs are about.
Well,
So let's answer one at a time. Let's do cuts that didn't make it.
the cuts that didn't make it. Okay. Devil and 150 Proof, they did not make the cut on that raw recording because what Mike was looking for when, you know, he told me to make this was songs that I thought would, you know, hit people the right way, and, you know, to me, for now that looking back, Devil should have been on there, but that was my mess up. And 150 Proof, I mean, it was never, the lyrics are good and everything like that, but it just, musically, it never actually came together. I have no guitar part legitimately written for it to the part where, or to the point where, you know, it works for me. So, and if I get something going, I always screw up the timing somehow. So it's really actually a difficult song trying to do that solo. I definitely need a band for that one. And the love songs, they're kind of flowing right now, but at the same time, you know, I'm writing songs like A New Start, and that was my goodbye song about moving to Nashville, you know. And the second verse is, before I left that day, I hung out with the boys, kissed my mama goodbye, and hell, I hope they're all drinking one for me tonight. Like, those lyrics to me are real. That's what I would want to do, you know, and I'd want my buddies here to, you know, be drinking one for me when they're out, you know, having guys' nights. And I mean, there's been like City and a Farm, there's that song, there's I mean, yeah, there's some love songs in between there too, but
So who was who was the main figure for these love songs? 'Cause
Yeah.
I mean, you're kind of like dancing around it.
Yeah, I kind of want to know who was the inspiration for most of these love songs. I would like a name and what she is to you.
Okay. Well, it's my longtime girlfriend of about 2.5 years. The happy songs are when we were at our best, and the sad songs are we had some breaks in between, and we're, you know, working back towards getting that back on track. And her name's Sam Williams, and you know, she's actually been helping me a lot with my music, and I actually wanted her to do harmonies on the album because that would that would make it, like, she's a really good singer, and the harmony she finds, she can do the high ones, she can do the low ones, and it all works out. So
I was actually going to ask about a couple songs. Before we started this, I was going to ask about Fight Another Night. I thought that was one of the stronger songs on there. I'm going to be honest, but it was one of those that felt very odd to me when I first heard it. But can you just tell us more about that song in general?
Fight Another Night, where it fits in that story is, I mean, where he's becoming that alcoholic and hitting rock bottom. But I mean, in high school there was this one kid, I'm not going to mention his name. He had a little bit of money, and I mean, he thought he was slick shit because he had money, and that's what this song's about, you know. Just because you think you're better than everybody else, you got a little bit of change in your pocket doesn't mean jack shit, you know. I kick your ass, that kind of thing. And I mean, that's what that whole song's about. And I know for a fact that if I got the chance to ever do that, not saying I would, I mean, you'd have to piss me off to a point, but it would not end well. And for round two, like I said in the song, you know, brought his boys and his gun, watching his back. I'm pretty sure that's how that would go down too. It's I don't know, that song actually, when I sing it, has a lot more emotion than it probably should.
Is that emotion good or bad?
I guess it depends on how you look at it.
Well, I mean, from most people's perspective, they kind of want to feel the lyrics, feel emotional, somewhat an emotional tie that you have to it to really sell the song. So would it be a good thing or a bad thing that you have more emotions to it?
Well, I mean, every song has its own emotions differently because, you know, I grew up learning, you know, men don't cry. We find another way to express our emotion. So mine just so happened to be music, and that's why, you know, when I'm upset, you know, those love songs pump out like that, or if I'm pissed off, and that song definitely came out when I was pissed off. But it's still, like, I mean, every time I sit there and play a song that I've written in the past, even though I'm not feeling that emotion at that point in time, it always comes back.
A lot of this album, I guess, is that what we're calling it? Is that what we're actually calling it?
It's an
okay.
album.
Okay, I'm making sure because it was pretty raw. But one of the things that I've noticed from what you've been talking about now was that most of this seems like a story being told, but a lot of it seems like a way to tell a story of metaphors of things that happened in real life, right? But Underage seems different. That one particularly is that more what you were saying earlier about how when you look back on these things and wonder how I survived? I mean, you're 18 now, you just turned. Is that more of how you expect your future self to be? Or are you somehow getting old early?
Well, I mean, shit, I'm still underage, so...
I mean, we're not still talking about how, you know, we're all trying to flip his car, or just what's going on.
Some of the crazy shit that we did, man. When I get to that age, it's gonna be, Jesus, how did we live through some of that?
How did I survive hanging out with him?
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, then again, at the same time, you know, I wrote another song that's called, I just wrote it. It's called Growing Up in a Small Town, and, you know, obviously Anderson, Cottonwood and all that, they're not the biggest towns, and we're not in the middle of the USA, but it's small town USA, and the bridge of that song is, we made a deal, we'd ride together, we'd die together, or just as long as we die together. Hell, I can't believe we made it this far. And those lyrics mean a lot to me because these two guys right here are my best friends and have been since my freshman year, and we'll ride together, die together, that's our saying. I mean, so that song to me actually, I mean, it's got tons of stories. Obviously, Alec here never went to church. Like, I mean, that chorus is it's 3 best friends on 4 ball tires, baptized in dirty water, making noise, taking claims, in the front pew on Sunday, which obviously does not apply to Alec here. But and then it's growing up in the middle of small town USA, making names, staking claims, couldn't wait to get away from growing up in a small town. Because I know for damn sure all of us have thought back, well, like, damn, we got to get out of this town.
Hey, I'm still thinking it
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
I am
Right.
too. I'm ready to get out, but
I left, I came back. I don't know about you guys.
And
if
then,
I leave, I ain't never come back. I mean, it'll definitely take some strength to not come back because I got a lot of family here. I got friends. I got everything. But at the same time, if I have to come back, there's no way I'm gonna bum my way here. No offense to you.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I'm not
know,
trying to be a dick or nothing, but
No, I needed to get back. That
if
was.
I'm gonna get back, it's gonna be doing what I love and playing honky tonks. I don't care if I'm 18, 19 years old. I'll sneak in the back and say I'm 21, get a fake ID or something. Just try to live out my dream, do that kind of thing.
So tell us about, I know you play a lot of shows, so tell us about some of the venues you play at and some of the shows you've done, or any upcoming shows you may have.
Some of the shows I've done, I mean, going away parties, I've done weddings, a couple weddings. I did some company party one time. I DJ'd most of that one. It was way too hot outside. Yeah. And what else did I do? Oh, I've performed at the OK Corral a couple times. I actually just finished up this weekend. I did a Friday and Saturday night with the Cherry Road Gang, and that was a lot of fun. They brought me up on stage Saturday night with them for the whole night to teach me some things and how to get the crowd going. And I kind of knew it already, but at the same time, it is so difficult with just a guitar to be able to move around, and watching what these guys can do with just even a 4-man band. Like, this is what I need to be able to do what I want to do for a living. So, and I mean, I picked up some things from them, and I even noticed myself doing some new things that I've never done before just in that night.
So we're gonna jump back to the songs real quick. What were some of your favorite songs you've written, and maybe some songs where you're just like you listened to it, you played it, you read it, and you're like, ah.
Like, come on, man, what was I thinking?
Yeah. Favorite, least favorite.
Favorite is definitely Modern Day Bonnie and Clyde. Just the story that it tells and the music. And I played it with a group of guys before, with a drum, a bass, and a guitar. And this dude played his solo in it, and it just wailed. And I fell in love with the way the song sounded with the full band. And I mean, that is the love story that I want to live. And because it's just so badass. Like, I mean, there's no other way to look at that. Just going out in a blaze of glory. That we're gonna leave it at that. And some of the worst songs I've ever written. God damn, there has been some doozies. Like, they're so bad I can't remember the names of them right now. Like, that's how bad they were to me. And I mean, I'll play them for my family, and my family's biased because I'm the only one in my family that plays music. I mean, my dad did, but he's not around anymore. And I picked up a guitar and taught myself, and I've been singing since birth. So I mean, they're biased against me. They're always like, "Oh, that's a killer song, yeah," and I'll record it and listen to it and be like, "God damn, what the fuck was I thinking? That's not good at all." Like, it's just not good. So.
Well, I think we've got on for quite a while, so okay.
There's one more question we have.
All right.
What were maybe some of the more emotional songs, like some songs to you that were hard to write emotional-wise and hard to write technicality-wise?
Emotionally, there's been 2, and they were kind of recent. Actually, 3. One was called "This Ain't Easy for Me," and me and my girl, we had a split, and this song just kind of like it hits hard for anybody that listens to it. Like, I mean, I've made people cry with this song, but the other one that really hits hard for me is a song called "Missing You Tonight." And there was one night I was upset, and we were still on our break, and I had a bottle of Jack, and I was sipping it through a straw, and it was going pretty quick, and the very first line I wrote down on a piece of paper is, "Whiskey warms me up at night since you're not here to hold me tight," and it flowed after that. And then the last one that really hits home for me is definitely "A New Start." because that's going to be one of the hardest things I'll ever do is, you know, leave my friends and family. And, but technically, like the technicality of some of the songs, the hardest ones that I've had to write, like I said, 150 proof, still haven't got done because it's so, it consists of something that I cannot do. So, yeah. Let's see, what else is a really difficult song? It's timing wise is the song I wrote called Because of You, because the verses are so upbeat and then all of a sudden that chorus opens up and there runs and there's elongated notes and all this other stuff. So the timing switches, and I mean, obviously musically it's going to be 4/4 because that's just kind of the way country rolls, and but in a sense at the same time it's not. Like vocally it completely changes, but it sounds damn good. So yeah.
Well, all right. I think we're good on this.
All right.
This has been FusionPit Presents. I'm Alec.
I'm Jordan.
I'm Joseph.
I'm Adrian.
You guys are awesome. Stay country.